go ahead and I'll share my screen with you. Maybe, where is it? Oh, it came up. Nope, that's the screen. Guys, I got too many screens going over here. Good job. All right. So the first thing we will do is talk about content. Woohoo! So when you are in your course, all right, and content can be URLs, web pages, videos that you make, documents, PDFs, all different sorts of file types, whatever you want. But all of those items for us are going to live on the content page. All right, so everyone will have a syllabus tab at the top of the content page here. So this is where you can put your syllabus. It'll say syllabus just like this. And you can just drag your file here and it will turn your syllabus into a PDF. So it's nice, the students can access it right here on the page. And then if they scroll down at the bottom, they still have the option to download it. So any document that you have that you are uploading to Brightspace or sharing with your students, it generally does this PDF conversion process so they can see it without having to download anything, which is nice for our students who may not have like the best internet speeds because it takes more to download than to just look at it here. But, so when you start on your course, it'll give you a table of contents. And let's see. I want to show you one without a lot of stuff in it, so it's a little easier to follow because mine already has so much junk in there. Let's see. We'll just go. All right. So in your content page, this is our test site, so it still says overview here instead of syllabus, but our live site says syllabus. All right, but you'll see it kind of is blank at the beginning. Even this welcome won't be here the very first time you log in. It'll just say table of contents. And if you click on it, it will all be nothing here. So you have a couple different ways that you can begin adding modules in what you'd like. You either have this sidebar where you can do quick adds of modules. So you can say like, all right, here's week 1. And then it'll take you to week 1. The other option is when you're on this table of contents page, you'll see it says add a module here as well. So you can add that way and just kind of keep going as you do. Any questions on adding a module? All right, so the table of contents, you'll see it kind of adds all of our modules here, and on the table of contents page, you can see them all lined up. But when you click on them, you can get to see them a little bit closer and more at that individual level of what you actually have in the module itself. Deb, here's where I was testing your syllabus. So that's why this one is in here, or your PowerPoint, not syllabus, from when we worked on that a little while ago. But when you're in here, I'm gonna go to a blank week. It shows up, there's nothing here. This is how all of the weeks look like. So the first thing at the top, if we talk about it, is add dates and restrictions. All right, so if you click on that, it'll show up to give you a couple different other things that you can add. So a start date is when you want this to be visible. All right, start and end dates are visibility. So if you say, I don't want this to be visible till the week that it is, you can use this and you can say, you know, I don't want this to be visible till next Monday. and you can set the time. And then we have two other options here, the due date and the end date. I generally don't recommend using the end date because end dates stop visibility. So if you enter an end date, students won't be able to see it past that date. Now you might have a need for that, but generally most people don't. But you can add a due date. So I could say this week, everything in here started on the 12th. I want to make this whole module due on the following Sunday. You can set a due date, and that'll still make it visible afterwards, and it'll give the students some guide on when they're supposed to do those items. Any questions on start, end, or due dates? All right. Next up, we also have release conditions. So remember, release conditions always have create and browse. So if you've made a release condition somewhere else on some other assignment, it will show up under your browse list. So if you had it somewhere else, you could use the exact same one without having to make sure that you got all the settings right, because you'd be able to pick it. Otherwise, you could do create. And there's all sorts of different things that you could do and say, like, maybe this unit's only open to people, like it's a remediation unit. So you could do it based on a grade. So you can see maybe their grade value on a certain quiz is less than 70%, so you release this remediation unit. Or there is a content feature here, so you could say maybe they visited a content topic. So they looked at this PowerPoint, and then that opens the week up. So you could use different things there, but otherwise, most of us in my experience thus far have not used release conditions for entire units. I use them because I make students do an academic honesty pledge thing. So like they have to look at the syllabus and say, I understand academic integrity, and then they'd be able to look at everything else. But when you've got these settings as you would like, you'll click update and they will show up here at the top. Any questions? All right. Now we also have this added description. So if you put your mouse over it and click, it'll show up with a little text box area. So if you wanted to make a little short video about the week, I just put my objectives in here for the week or whatever our topic is. So it says like this week, here's objectives A, B, and C. You could add them, click update, and it'll put it up there, whatever items that you take. I don't recommend putting all of your actual content items in there because that's what kind of this area right here is for. So we can click upload create, and you have upload files, video, audio, create a file, create a link. So if you have like a file folder picker item, right, something like this, where you have all your list of files, and you say, oh, this is something that I want to put in here, you can just click and drag it over until that gets a blue shade, and it'll put it in there for you. All right, anything that comes up with a check mark means that it defaults to being automatically required. And that affects the content at a glance on your course homepage. Oh, if I click the right thing, that would help, guys. All right, so every course has this content at a glance on the course homepage, and do you see these little circles here? That's how far or how much they clicked on or completed in the course. So we just added that to week 1. So now if I were to go to week 1, I can see this item. If I click on it, it will take me to that PDF. It shows it to me right inside the system here, so it doesn't download. The same thing happens with PowerPoint. They can look at all of it. If it's something that they really like or that they think they're going to need to come back to, they can bookmark it. If it's something that you think you need to come back to, you can bookmark it. The bookmarks are on an individual level. So your bookmarks are yours, your students' bookmarks are their bookmarks. But then if I were to go back to my home page, you'll see it now says week 1 is at 100% because I clicked on everything in week 1. It has a check mark. Are there any questions on how that works? So now if you have something that is optional per se, or you don't want it to be shown in those circles, down here after you click on it, you'll see we have required automatic. So you can change this to be required manual, meaning the student would check it off that they've done it, or you could say it's not required for those circles. Right now, I'm personally leaving all of mine as set to required automatic, because then it encourages them to at least look at or click on everything that I have put up. Because there are the students who are going to be like, my circles must be 100%. And they'll be like, what have I not clicked on yet? And they'll be going around, and it could also backfire on you because then they might email you and say, why isn't my circle 100%? But so depending on which way you want to go there. And then also for items, you can add dates and restrictions once again. So you could say this resource isn't available. We have start, due, and end dates once again. You can add release conditions here, and you can add a description to it if you would like. The nice thing about documents is that you can also see a completion summary on every item. So it'll tell you the student and who's completed it, who's not completed it, and you could exempt students and say, this isn't for them. And if you exempt them, I'm 95% certain that it doesn't affect their circles. So if it's a remediation thing, you might exempt, a couple students and say, like, these students have 98s in my class, they don't need to look at this, and they won't have to for their circles to say 100%. Any questions so far on the different settings or how it works? All right. There is also the option here, so like how I just did like my click and drag when I was on this page. You can do something called edit properties in place, and that'll let you add some of those basics right here. So I can say it's not required from this page. I can make it hidden or not hidden yet, depending on what I want. I can add the dates and restrictions. I can add the description. Check this out. It's awesome. Oh, I missed a space. But that way you can see all of those items right here from this page without having to click on it and open it yourself. If you didn't want, you could do it right from here. All right. Any questions so far? All right, and like I said, you can do that with PDFs, PowerPoint slides. The PowerPoint slides, it will change them to the PDF format for that display. So if you have things like animations or voiceover, the student will have to download the PowerPoint to see those items. Right here, I go back. Oh, I guess I made it and then deleted it. I was just going to show what a PowerPoint looks like quick because I don't know where I have one on my computer. But all right. So I'm going to go back. You can see here I get this nice notification. Week 1 begins October 12th. So you don't have to necessarily put the date in it every semester. You could just leave the date as the start date for the week and it will show up that way, which is nice. We talked about last week when you like import a Moodle course, it'll have, or like even from course to course in Brightspace, it has that shift dates feature. So you could just shift all of your dates and it will manually update all of those from semester to semester if you're doing weeks. Another thing up here, you could create a link. So, just websites, whichever you'd like to do. So, yeah, and you have enter whatever the URL is. And you have the option to check open as external resources. It does give you a little warning here that user progress is not tracked for this external resource. So if you want to know if students clicked on it and accessed it or not, don't check that box. If you don't care and it's just there for them to look at sometime, you can check this off and it won't show up on their 100% circle list. Or it'll show up, but it won't affect it. So I'm going to go ahead.
Kat, I have a quick question for you. It's kind of not related. Is there any way you could zoom in on your screen a little bit? Everything's really small, so I turned my camera off because I'm getting real close to my computer.
I'll zoom in some more. Is that better?
Oh, that's better. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, sorry. I started out with things small and I zoomed in a little, but next time I will remember to do more.
I'm just blind, so it's fine.
No problem.
It's just
here. So go like this and create. So you can see it actually opens the web page inside the system still. It's still in Brightspace. And here's the website, and I could go ahead and, you know, log in just like I was on the web page, and it logs it all in right here, which is kind of cool. If you clicked open as external resource, that's when it would open it in like a new page at the top here. All right. This also works super cool with shared Google Docs and spreadsheets, because then they can edit it right inside of your course. So somewhere here. So this is a linked Google Sheet that I have that students have the ability to edit. So the Google Sheet will open directly in my page, and you can click on it in here and edit right within the page. So if you're having like a shared resource doc for students, or if you're asking them to collect and share in some way, you can have them do it here, and they can do it without leaving the LMS. So but you can see that way they could write there. So if you wanted to collect information about them less formally, so like this one, I just asked them, you know, at the beginning of the semester to warm them up, what type of song was their life anthem currently, thanks to COVID 2020 living. But all right. The other type of thing that you can create is a page. So let me show you what one of them can look like. All right, let's see. Maybe this one's a good one. All right, so a page is just it's a content page. So this is all things that I typed in, right? This one's just words. There are other types of things in, like if you add videos, you can add them in there. So this one is another page that I made. So I put this picture in, I typed this, and then I added one of my recordings that I did. Not that we need to listen to me talk, but so I add a little video about myself, and then I scroll down, there's some more on here, another little video to go over with the students, and then I can see down here on my completion summary, I can see everybody who has viewed the topic. If I were to actually go into their class progress page, I could see how long they were on this page to know. So like I have 32 minutes of video. So I could see if they were actually on this page for 32 minutes or not. If like, you know, it came up that students were like, you don't help me at all, I can be like, you didn't watch my video. But so the way that we add those is on our content page. We have this upload create. Here, let me switch back so I'm not too confusing to my students. Is it this one? No. You guys see all my tabs open down here? This one. All right. So So we'll do upload create, and then you do create a file, right? And so the way create a file starts is just a blank page. And so, you know, you can type in whatever you like. There's this insert stuff button. So you can insert files from your course, from your computer. You can search YouTube if you want to find a relevant link. Oh, I didn't fix this on the test site. It works on the real site. But you could search right here and insert it. All different things. And then we also have these things if you just want to make them look nice, called document templates. So there is one step that you have to do to get the document templates in your course, but they show up. So it shows up with like a picture, a title, and then tells you to type. So it just does some like pretty formatting for you if you wanted. And there's a bunch of different ones. So it'll show you course title, tells you different things about it, but you could just like replace this, you know, and say like, welcome, it looks nice. I like to share info with you. And then you can also go ahead and like add your different items. So if you had a video on your computer that you wanted to share, right, you could add it. Video, you can choose if you want it to start playing automatically. I don't do that to them, but sometimes I wish I would. But you can add a video and it'll show up all nice. And then you can hit save and close. Oh, title. Welcome. Show you created successfully, and then here's a sample of that item. So you can see the picture, even though it looked really big, it does this kind of cool overlay with the picture. So they're just things that make it look nice and more appealing, but it still gives you a nice way to kind of promo whatever your content is. So if you have videos or text or different items. And if you decide you don't like it or you need to edit something, there's the edit HTML button here down at the bottom, and it takes you right back to where you were, and you could update whatever you like here. So like the picture comes up with these little items on the bottom, so you could delete it. If you want to edit the image, like to crop it or, you know, sharpen color levels, all sorts of crazy things that you could do to your images. But there's that. Under image options, so this is generally where I go to update these pictures. It has a source right here. So you can click here to upload, and you can add an image that you have on your computer. You can browse for an image on your computer, either way. Maxis, oh here, fall flags, that's a good one. And then hit OK, and it will update it for you. I think my colors are up. There we go. But so now it'll be there, and I could go ahead and save it. And then I have, not that you can see the flag, oh, there's a flag, but fun Marywood image in the background. So that's what you can do. Are there any questions on this content so far?
Kat, I have a quick question. So can you put those images in even after you have content, or is it the reverse? I forget.
So if you're using a template like we just did, you have to put the template on first. Right. When you add a template to the page, it'll erase everything that was on there. The template has to go first. So if you don't have a template, you would have to like copy all of your text and then add the template and then paste all of your text. So like here, I'll show you. So like here was the template we had. If I were to go and change it right now, it'll give you a warning that says your existing content will be deleted. So you can't do it accidentally. you know, unless you choose not to read this and then just click replace, but it does warn you. So then you can click replace and it will show you. And then here's like a new one. So there's a picture at the top. It says module introduction, learning objectives if you want. So this one, it doesn't have to be learning objectives, you know. So like I used this for the answers and rounding off page because I liked the way that it gives you these big numbers. But, and then if there's something not here that you're like, I want to add more, or like I want to add a video after this, like the template's not set in stone. So like I could say like, turn off this list and here's a video. I don't want that there. I can delete it. And you can do whatever you want. It just serves as a framework for you to work off of. Some of them are super fancy, like this accordion one, right? So it says like these different things, accordion title, things, stuff is cool. Accordion group of 2. So here, I'll just save it so you can see it. But you just type in like those different groups and it makes these. I have to figure out what I did here. Oh, copy code, so you could copy it if you wanted. But it makes these cool accordions right in here. So, and for like you as the instructor, you don't have to know any of that or the code or whatnot. Because it tells you for it tells you for it. So like I would just have to type in what I want here. Accordion 1 of 1. So I would say like, you know, topic 1, and then you could add things here, and then you would type topic 2 and put things here, and it'll make those accordions for you. So you don't have to know all the fancy code behind it. But so like I said, there is one step for those that you have to do to make them usable in your course, and that's through the course files, which is also nice here because we were going to talk about course files next. So if you go to course tools and course admin, I think it might be in a slightly different order on our live site. Let's see. Oh, here we go. So, oh no, still the same order, guys. Course tools, course admin, but we have manage files here somewhere. Manage files. So I will send you the template files because you have to add them to your course here to get them to work. So if you don't have them here in your course, they won't work the first time, but we have a handy dandy step for that, and I will make a pretty document to send you. But they'll show up here. But otherwise, I know we've mentioned it before, you can add files for your course directly to this page. So like I said, if you are the person who has one folder and you have every course file you need on it, if it's a course you've taught frequently and you have all of those resources organized well, you could just go upload. You can look for your file. You know, I'll try and choose one that's semi-relevant here. My drive. We'll go with this one. Right. Drive files here below. So I'm going to pick this whole folder of Wiley materials, drag it up there. Oh, invalid file type. Sorry guys, I had to click new folder. Click new folder. Oh, no, I lied. I'm confused, don't mind me. All right, you can choose a bunch of your files from your folder. Click upload. And it will come up. You can save it and put them in here. And that way they're just in your course. So anytime you are then on your content page, you can always just say, add from managed files. Because then your managed files are the ones that you have here, and you could go into where you wanted and say, hey, let me grab that file and put them up. Make sure you check the box. I do that every time, guys. I click the name of it and that like opens it as a demo. So you'll have to check the box and click add. One of the cool things is that the pages that you make, so remember I was showing you the template pages, Brightspace saves those as a web page. So if you make it in one class, it'll be in your course files and you could add it other places if you wanted. But it'll add your items. It adds them down at the bottom of the page. I'm gonna delete these now that I added extras. My students will be like, I had 100%. What happened? All right, that's better. Are there any questions on the files? There we go. All right then. All right. Next step is just our inline video and editor tool. One of the groups we did it last week a little bit, but we do have you could upload or create video, and this is where you can go to upload video or audio items if you have any things that you've already made. If you're doing a Zoom recording and you save it, you can upload the video file here from your computer. Now, if you wanted to add a inline video audio tool, you have to be somewhere that there is a text editor. So you could either do upload, create a file, or if it's in the overview area for the section. So like up here where I typed objectives, I have this video editor and I could type, add a video note. So remember, the video note, it won't work while I'm on Zoom because Zoom takes over your camera and does not let you on multiple things at once. But you could just hit new recording. You have a timer here. You can see you have up to 30 minutes to talk, introduce different items, and then you'd go ahead and click next afterwards. It gives you the option to title it. It gives you the option to indicate the language and to choose whether or not you want captions to be made for your recording. So it's great for supporting our accessibility and UDL needs in that regard. After you've made one, there's actually a video note search. So whatever you've titled it as, it will come up by that. Oh, here. Let's go this way, where I actually have some. All right, so a video note search. You can see all the different videos that I've made in those items. So which currently in Moodle, you could kind of like copy and paste one over, but we don't have this search function. So like if I had 2 sections of Math 155, I could say, oh, here's the welcome message that I made. Let me pick that one. And I can add it. If you want to watch it again to make sure it's right, you can do it right here. Click insert. And then it puts my handy dandy video. If these boxes are ever too small for you, remember that these 3 lines in the corner, these 3 diagonal lines, let you drag and make it bigger. So if you need to see more, you can. And if you don't like it, you can just hit backspace and be done with it. All right. Any questions on those items? Here's just another example while I'm right by it. This is a shared Google Doc for my class to take notes on. And I used like the heading table of contents feature in here. So it's for all of our chapters. So we can go to chapter 1, and here's all different notes that my students took on the chapter for different things that all of them can go in and see what other people wrote or different things. But yeah, fun things to think about. All right, that's all I have for today.
Where did you find those collaborative notes?
So it was a Google Doc that I made, and I made it editable, so like anyone with the link could edit it. So then I used the upload create to create a link.
Oh, okay.
And shared that link here, so that way the students could do it right within Brightspace and they didn't have to like go elsewhere.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. All right. Any other questions, folks? All right, well, we still have 20 minutes, so if anyone wants to log on and look at it or try adding like a content file, you could. I will make sure that in our recordings this week that we will send out the document as well for adding the templates to your course, because it'll include a link to the file. So you guys will download the file, go to course admin, manage file, and then you will upload the file that I sent you. And that'll make it so you guys can use the fancy templates in your course as well. So you could just have those templates on this create a file page. And remember, once again, you don't have to use them. Look, they have one specifically for video lecture. So it says, this is a basic general purpose page. Here's a video. You can replace the video. Shows directions on how to replace the video if you need it. Oh, while we're in here, I can also show you our YouTube search work. So if you go to insert stuff, YouTube, you can search for something off of YouTube and you could find it and say, oh, all right. Oh, don't click on it. Keep doing that. Just click on it so it's blue and hit next. You can scroll down and see a preview of it. You can hit insert and it'll throw it on the page for you. I think we did talk about it briefly before also. If you were to update something or add content, you can choose if your students get notified about it. So if I go to this page quick, edit HTML, demo. But you can see here on this edit page, it has notify students that the content has changed. So if I changed this page drastically and I wanted them to make sure that they knew there was something different here, I can check that box. I can add a summary. I could say, hey, I added another video here. And I can decide if I want it to reset the completion tracking or not. So those circles on that home page, if I check reset, it means they have to click on it again. So that's up to you, or you can leave it unchecked so they can just see that there's another video here, but they don't have to visit it again to get that completion status. Now I think I'm done for real, guys. So like I said, we'll hang out if there's any questions. If you want to try something real quick, go look at it, and then come back with a question. We have 15 minutes, so we will be here.